In a world where noise is constant, the Stoic becomes a rare voice, not by speaking louder, but by choosing when to remain silent. In the age of opinion, silence is a statement. In the age of reaction, stillness is strength. In the age of exposure, restraint is a shield. Today, we don't suffer from a lack of information. We suffer from the absence of reflection. We are flooded with voices, but starved of wisdom. We are surrounded by reaction, but rarely witness response. And yet, the Stoic walks among us, not loud, not flashy, not desperate to be seen, but deeply grounded, unmoved by the noise that rules the minds of many. The Stoic understands silence is not weakness. It is not the absence of knowledge or power. Silence is the containment of power, the decision not to waste it on what does not matter, the refusal to surrender it to every impulse, every insult, every passing emotion. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." The cliff does not shout at the sea. It does not try to control the storm. It simply endures, quietly. That is silence. That is strength. In our time, silence is misunderstood. People assume that to be silent is to be passive, that to be still is to be indifferent. But the Stoic knows the truth. Silence is not absence. It is intention. Stillness is not emptiness. It is focus. Seneca warned us, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." What do we waste it on? Arguments we did not need to enter, battles we did not need to fight, opinions we did not need to form, words we did not need to say. Silence gives us something rare, perspective. When you stop speaking, you begin to hear what matters. When you stop reacting, you begin to understand. In silence, the ego shrinks. In silence, the truth expands. The mind clears. The breath slows. And the soul comes forward. It is in silence that you remember who you are, without the need to be praised, liked, shared, or affirmed. In silence, you are no longer performing. You are being. But silence is not easy. The world fears it. And because it fears it, it teaches you to fear it too. Every app, every feed, every platform is designed to keep you in motion, scrolling, reacting, judging, posting. In this way, the modern world feeds the mind, but starves the soul. And so, to practice silence today is to resist, to turn away, not from the world itself, but from its grip on your attention. You do not have to shout to have meaning. You do not have to prove anything to be at peace. The Stoic understands that what is unseen may be the most powerful. That which is unspoken may be the most enduring. Silence is where decisions become clearer. It's where healing begins. It's where reflection has room to breathe. The Stoic retreats not to escape, but to clarify. They choose solitude, not to isolate, but to realign. A wise Stoic does not fear being misunderstood. He understands that explanation is often wasted on those who do not seek to understand. He does not feel the need to defend every truth, nor fight every misjudgment. He simply continues, quietly, patiently, faithfully, in the direction of virtue. Consider how often we interrupt ourselves, how often we fill the quiet with nervous chatter, how quickly we speak to avoid discomfort, and then ask, what would happen if I just sat with the silence? What if I trusted it, honored it, allowed it to teach me? The Stoic chooses to walk with silence like an old companion. They wake up early. not to rush, but to listen. They speak only when silence is no longer enough. They observe the world, not to judge it, but to understand it more clearly. And when they act, their action is not noise, it is impact. Silence sharpens perception. It filters out distraction. It turns the ordinary into the sacred. The sound of wind becomes a sermon. The pause between thoughts becomes prayer. The absence of noise becomes presence. But there is another reason the Stoic seeks silence, because silence is where you face yourself. And the greatest work, the hardest work, is not changing the world. It is mastering the self. You cannot do that in a storm of voices. You cannot do that while constantly explaining, defending, comparing, or pretending. You can only do that in quiet. In the silence, you confront the places in you that are not yet healed. You observe the thoughts you usually drown out with distractions. You meet your own shadow, and instead of running, the Stoic sits with it, studies it, learns from it, and then rises with more self-awareness, more control, more peace. This is not spiritual romanticism. This is discipline, deep, consistent, often uncomfortable inner work. And yet, it is the only kind of work that frees you. So when people ask, "Why are you so quiet?" the Stoic does not explain. They smile, because silence does not need to be justified. Not every situation needs your opinion. Not every slight needs your retaliation. Not every space needs your presence. Not every conversation requires your voice. Ask yourself, am I speaking to express truth or to be heard? Am I reacting to assert dominance, or am I pausing to preserve peace? Am I posting for wisdom or for validation? Let this be your discipline. Speak when your words are better than silence. Act when your actions align with your deepest values. Remain still when the world demands motion, unless that motion comes from clarity, not compulsion. True strength is quiet. True mastery is unseen. The tallest trees make the least noise. The deepest waters are still. The Stoic does not seek silence to appear profound. They seek silence to become authentic. They are not empty. They are full, just not loud. Their energy is preserved, not scattered. Their thoughts are precise, not reactive. Their presence is steady, not inflated. This world rewards those who shout, but history remembers those who endured quietly, steadfastly, faithfully. So return to silence, not once, but often. Make it your resting place. Make it your practice. Make it your shield. For in silence, you will find the only voice that truly matters, your own. Let others waste their breath proving their worth. Let others rush toward applause. Let others drown in constant conversation. You walk with stillness. You protect your peace. You listen more than you speak. You guard your mind as a sacred space. You respond, not out of impulse, but from principle. And when the world grows louder still, you will not tremble. You will not flinch. You will not beg to be heard, because the Stoic understands. The loudest voice in the room is often the most insecure. But the quiet soul who knows who they are, they need no microphone. They need no stage. They simply live. And that life, the life of stillness, wisdom, and restraint, that is the Stoic life. And it begins, always, with silence.